Okay, Volvo fans, here we're in the 850 driver's side. These are the connectors that you want. Pay close attention to them. They're right in the very front of the seat. They're tucked in, but they are right there. Okay, I've got them disconnected here for the sake of clarity because I was doing some testing, because these two right here with the double black wires coming out of them, those are your seat heating element connections. These are the power in, power out, all that stuff. So we'll take a look at them right there, but here's the quick way to test the seat heating elements. You come in, you disconnect these, and you measure the ones with the double black wires. All right, you come in and measure the resistance. All right, we have the fluke. Hopefully you can see that. And you can come in from the back side. That's especially for your wire probes, and actually not stretch the pins out or damage the pins. Okay, we should have continuity. We got none. Okay, well, all right, let's take a look at that. That was the black connector one. Now we'll go to the gray one. Same thing. Let's take a look. All right. Okay, we have 0.8 ohms. That's the seat back. How do you know? Well, it's because of the connector color. And from that standpoint, that's how I know. Okay. Okay. Step one, power's been, vehicle's powered down. So this is the negative battery post. Okay, don't confuse the two. Why are you disconnecting the ground, Dan? Well, that's just the easiest one. If I take a wrench and I short ground to ground, that's nothing. If I take a wrench and short power, well, that's not good. So just disconnect it and break it there. Now, the battery is the ultimate source for the vehicle, right? Nothing else in the vehicle generates power all by itself. So your liquid energy source here can't make it from the positive to the negative because I've disconnected the ground. So electrically, pretty much the vehicle is done. Electrically, it can't really hurt itself. So that's a step one before you break stuff, blow stuff up, pop an airbag, any of that stuff. It's very difficult now for me to pop an airbag without supplying a battery source for it. So long story short, that's why. Okay, it's safe. It's the way you do it. Moving on. Okay, got a little crud, a little plastic cover comes off. One's missing. And this slides on. Notice how it's got slides? It just slides forward and comes off. Volvo plastic, it's renowned for breaking, so if it cracks, don't lose any sleep. It's happened to others before you. So one bolt, two bolts across the way here. That's the front. And then we're going to follow the same treatment in the back. There are two bolts with a couple of covers. Moving on. Okay. 4 bolts are removed. I'll show those to you when I get it out of here, and this is where you find all the trash you never knew you had. Hey, this job is already a paying job. About a quarter. Okay, we'll vacuum all this junk out here later, but if we're going to disconnect this, just take that one loose there. Battery's disconnected, everybody, just remember. And then we're going to disconnect those as soon as I figure out how they're connecting. Alright, it's time to put my glasses on. Be those young folks out there like, oh, you know, you put your glasses on all the time. Yes, exactly. There you go. This one just pulled straight out. Try to get hold of the connector, but sometimes you just can't. Here we go. Seat is disconnected completely from the vehicle. We're going to get it out here in the open air, and we're going to take a good look at it and see what we can do. Alright, we'll bring you back. Alright, we're going to get that seat belt out of there. That's a new configuration I haven't seen in North American products, but one bolt goes straight through, takes the seat belt off, then we should be completely untethered from the vehicle. Alright, bring it back. Yeah, here we are, huffing and puffing. Seats out, no problem. Here's one of the two rear ones, goes straight in conventionally. The other one that's kind of not conventional is would be the outboard side on the driver's. The bolt goes in this way into the body. Interesting here, got a lot of corrosion. Not sure what that's all about, but we'll try to figure it out. But your seat motors, here is your seat control module. This one has memory seats on it. Here's those wires. See how I get the seat out here? We can all look at it together. All right, so first clue, how did you know that seat bottom was the seat bottom? Well, I said the black one, right? Well, there it goes. It goes straight up into the seat bottom. So we'll go from there, and then the gray one, it wanders off up into the back, in the seat back. We're gonna get the seat bottom off. We know it's open, so we're gonna get in there and try to fix that. I have a non-standard replacement. We'll see what we can get it done and get it plugged in. We will bring you back. Oh, just in case anybody's wondering, I covered this in the S60, but these are hog rings. Okay, see the little metal barb right there? That's a hog ring. They come in and a cramp just goes around and pinches it like that. Okay, that's a hog ring. Okay, don't ask me about the genealogy of that, but there they are. So across the front we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll be some around the back, and then that seat cover will slip off nicely. So we'll get that done and bring you back. Okay, hog rings are removed. Anywhere you can see like that, you can see where they were. There wasn't really a lot of them. A couple of them down the side. Across the back here, there's a metal bar that they grabbed a hold of right here. It's hard to see, but you can see the hog ring there. They kind of left it dangling there so you can see it. But we'll using zip ties to go back together with, and then we'll reach in and just kind of poke our way around it and then grab a hold of that bar. And that's what was holding this back flap on the seat. So near as I can tell, we should be in pretty good shape. There might be some under the cushion that we have to get, but as far as the front, we should be in pretty good shape to start peeling this off. Total time, 5 minutes to get them in. I find going in with the pliers and giving them a twist, it's probably as good. You can use a small screwdriver if you like, but this seemed to work for me. Bring you back. Okay, peeling the seat. I mean, I'm freehanding the camera here so you get an idea. Okay, first of all, you're going to see more hog rings on the inside. There's a metal bar going through the seat, and then there's a wiring going through the seat itself right there that they're tying off to. So these seat cushions won't slip. That would be one of my ideas there. And right here you can see the heating pad. That's the white thing. There's the wires coming into it. And that's what we'll be getting out of here, okay? It's typically held in place by adhesive. Try not to tear away a bunch of the foam if you can. All right, bring it back. Yeah, we got all the side ones off there we talked about. And now we're into right here. There's a couple across the front. Then we should have another row across the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have an early contender for failure. Get that out of there, but there may be more than one, but that sure is scorched. If you look at that resistor element, it runs right across there, and I think it was where it was bridging between the two seats, or the seat pad. So, and it's actually loose, so we'll see. Okay, seat cover is off. Only one sneaky one that's kind of there with some hog rings is back in the back corner here. These tuck in. They don't come in with everything else, but they just kind of tuck in around the corner. So once you have them, you pretty much have it. So here's the front coming up through. Okay, comes through the seat. All right, and comes across the back. It's got an adhesive on it. It seems to be coming out pretty good. All right, there's the world famous thermostat right there, that bad boy. So you sit on it, and it's got two wires that, if you're looking in between, right here, so 1, 2, 3 seat motors. Right up in the bottom there is where that thermostat comes in. So we're going to pull it up. Okay, I had to make a wire repair on it, but what's problematic is you have to tuck it up into the seat blind. So it looks like I accidentally got it, but from the scenario that we have today, that looks a lot like a cigarette burn, but you can see the wire. There's the resistive wire. Oh, sorry. And if you look at it from the sun, you can see the whole mesh pretty clearly, and that was where it burnt. I would say we'd probably tie those together and it would probably be all right, but not for long, because where it was at was right across this joint right here, and these metal barbs are what it ties down to. But if you wear that several thousands of times, it looks like it's right about there. These tuck in and down, so where it made that turn, that's where it broke. Well, the good news is we found it. The bad news is this is no longer offered by Volvo, but we'll try to find another way. Bring you back. Okay, I hooked it up. I just twisted the wires together, made a connection right there, and it's running about 2 ohms. Probably, hey, you see, I didn't scratch them clean or anything, but it's just, I can make a better connection. About 1 ohm seems to be a good one. So that's pretty close to what it was on the Volvo S60 bottom. So, okay, that seems to be what they're doing. Now, one clear thing on the Ohm's law that we talked about earlier, when you start pumping current through this thing, that 1 ohm, it will likely, the heat is going to activate against the resistive element. It's going to change. So you start off with 1 ohm. It may not end up with 1 ohm. It may be self-regulating. As it gets hotter, the resistance go up, so it basically caps itself at a rough level. So anyway, just a couple of tidbits on that one, but it seems to be okay. But I mean, how many thousands of cycles has this had? If this broke, where's it going to break elsewhere? And I think where it meets right here, there could have been a contribution by one of these wires. We'll have to take a look at what we want to do about making sure we can't cause any more trouble. All right, but there, as I showed you, the thermostat, it just sits in there. But good luck getting it out of there. And let's take it out. And maybe you can see the hole right here. 1, 2 motors. In between the second and third motor is where mine's located. Okay, and that's looking from the front of the seat. 1, 2, right in between the second and third motor. Yeah, that's no fun to get your hand up in there, especially in the vehicle, because it's, you look at that. I mean, yeah, you can, but you're working blind. And that connector is, there's nothing to pilot it. And that's actually 2 connectors sandwiched together. You see the tape wrapped around them? They originally were taped too, from the factory. Okay? All right, we'll bring you back. Okay, we got the stuff out here. Let's take an opportunity to write this stuff down for future generations of Volvo owners. And that's one of the things I like doing in the videos. I know I talk a lot, yada, 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 but I try to explain, because in a lot of cases, I didn't find the answers as fully as I wanted elsewhere. Robert DIY does a great job. Several other ones, Peppermint, several other ones do really nice videos, but some of this stuff I just wanted to add in and at least say it again. If you say it enough, it's probably going to stick. But here it is. Here's the temp thermostat. I've got it set on resistance. It's about 50-ish some degrees right now. Yeah, nice. Basically, don't worry about the negative. It's just the meter itself. However, this, around 50, it should be engaged. I don't know what will happen if I compress it in my hands for a couple of minutes and see what happens, because human body's around 98-ish degrees or something. At what point will this thing break down? Don't know. But that's also self-regulating, says if you had a runaway thermal event, this should cut off the power before you ever get there. Some of them are like 36C, 42C, somewhere in that range, and obviously I'm not a C kind of temp guy. In the US, they teach us 0 is freezing and 100's boiling. That's about all we understand. I'm sure there are others that do, but that's for my simple education. It's like 5/9, 9/5. Oh no, what is it? So I know 40 is very hot for an ambient temperature, but beyond that, it's kind of amazing to us. All right, I'll bring you back. Okay, we heated it up with the heat gun very, very, very gently, but I felt the mechanical click whenever it did it. So I'm thinking here shortly, it's probably going to reset. Hopefully, I didn't blow it up. Still a little warm. I could have blown it up. I didn't get it hot at all. I got rubber gloves or plastic gloves on and they didn't get hot, so let's see. Come on, Bertha. Cool down. Yikes. I may have done it badly. Alright, looks like a job for an ice cube. Ha! Very good. Gave it a chance to cool off a little bit. I did not blow it up. He has a very distinctive mechanical click if you're playing around with one of these things. Yeah, it looks good now. Alright, we confirmed it works the way it's supposed to work, and we're going to put it right on back in. Alright, we're going to try to apply this. It's fall here, the neighbors are mowing, so sorry about that, but we're going to try to take this kit. I'm not going to use all the electrics and stuff like that. It does come very nicely packaged with a lot of stuff, but I'm just worried about the heating pad. And this comes from Dorman. Anybody that's worked on automotive, Dorman is kind of like the last chance of making stuff. So let's get it out and take a look. Okay, here's the elements themselves. There are two, which is fine. They're a little smaller than I would have liked, but I didn't know what we were going to get into, so let's see how they take one of them and see how it stacks up. Okay, will I be able to match the fact? Let's see here. Where's your behind going to set? Right about there. And yep. So it's actually I'm faced up, but with this is the way it would be faced. There's an adhesive, that yellow strip you saw in the back. That's where it would be going. Okay. All right, and I'll play around with how it's set up. Okay. Yeah, fucking camera keeps twisting around. Sorry about that. All right, we will set something in. Now, when it comes to these curls, I'll tuck it in, down, and out. That's straight out of the Volvo setup that they used on the S60. It's like when you come to these grooves, it's okay to come down and make a ditch with it, right? That way you're not suspended, because if that's suspended in between and you push, you're just going to break it. These things, that the wiring in it is nearly nothing. I think this one's a carbon fiber impregnated resistive element, so we'll see if I can find a way to fit it on here, and then we'll get this thing back together. And I made that so you can see that a little bit better. There is a pocket, so the wires are going down and up and out. And now we are going to put the seat cover back on. Start zip tying and see if we can get this done. Okay, cover's back on it. Basically just zip tied. That will hold it just fine. I took the new wire and I spliced in the old Volvo connector, so that's original. I'll tuck these up when I get it back in there, when I see how everything's going to be laying. And don't mess with this guy, leave him alone. And beyond that, ready to tuck it in.